What is up guys, it's Solheim here, back with another classic WoW video. Today we are doing things differently and doing a news and update recap for 2023, talking about why I personally think right now might just be the time, or the best time, to play classic WoW, and we are not just talking about hardcore or vanilla here, but classic WoW as a whole. Now real quick, roughly 75% of people watching my videos are not subscribed, which is completely fine, I love you either way, but if you want to help me inflate my ego and try to make better content, please consider clicking that subscribe button if you are enjoying the content. Now let's get into it. Something a lot of people have the habit of doing is completely disregard the options we actually have available and only focus on the version of the game they personally play. Like for example, when I'm playing hardcore, I pretty much forget that Wrath of the Lich King Classic exists, and the same thing with Classic Era, and it's not just because I'm personally playing that one version of the game, it's usually because streamers and content creators are focusing on whatever is the current trend, which usually tends to mean one version of the game gets heavily pushed at a time. So with today's video, I aim to show you all that Classic WoW has to offer in 2023, and talk about the very exciting future we have ahead of us. Now let's start with the obvious, Classic Era and hardcore servers. Classic Era has been popping off pretty much since late last year, and has been staying incredibly popular for all of 2023. Now this might be due to several factors, one of which being the popularity of the hardcore servers going up significantly, and another one being that people are simply at a time where they are missing vanilla WoW again, because at this time, it's been about 3 years since Classic WoW Vanilla, we have played through TBC Classic and now for more than half of Wrath Classic, and people look back to vanilla WoW for many different reasons. Now, as we have progressed through Classic WoW expansions, Blizzard have added and removed features as they see fit, which might be a leading factor as to why many people have gone back to Classic Era, which still remains very classic-like. Now, some features worth mentioning here are, for example, Blizzard's decision to remove the random dungeon finder, because that was apparently not in the spirit of Wrath of the Lich King. Yet they introduced the WoW token as a solution for botting and gold buying, which is kinda funny because it only escalated the problem even further, by bots being able to play the game for free every single month, and people being able to afford game time cheaper by buying gold illegally and then spending that gold on WoW tokens, but Blizzard is profiting from it either way, so they don't really mind. They have also added Heroic Plus dungeons to Wrath, which many think are a good thing, which it could really be a good thing, but it also made some people quit as it reduced the incentive to do old raids, and it has made Classic WoW a lot more into what retail WoW is like, with Heroic Plus basically being the same as Mythic Plus dungeons. Now all of this has resulted in Classic Era servers more than quadrupling in population this year, and they had already begun seeing pretty big numbers even last year. The spike on population on Classic Era also led to more and more people trying out the hardcore playstyle, which means your character only has one life, which has now become so popular that Blizzard are now releasing official hardcore servers to Classic Era, which is a very significant change in my opinion, as this is a brand new type of gameplay and a new server type that has been developed and pushed by players, which grew to the size of Blizzard taking notice and actually adding it to the game. It is also worth noting that the same patch where we get hardcore servers in Classic Era, we are also getting a brand new PvP ranking system, which makes it way more achievable to get rank 14 in a somewhat timely manner. Routing this video all the way back to Wrath of the Lich King Classic for a minute, we have a lot to look forward to there as well. We are currently in Phase 3 with Trial of the Grand Crusader currently being out for about a month's time, and the big next content phase will feature the long-awaited raid, the Icecrown Citadel. For many players, this is the big content part of Wrath, with Phase 5 being a waiting room for the end of the expansion, only giving us a very small raid. With the content cadence of Wrath, you should definitely expect Phase 4, aka Icecrown Citadel, to come out sometime this year. My guess would be around October to November, and if I had to place a bet, I would probably say October. We also have BlizzCon happening later this year, where I think we will get 2 major announcements that are very relevant for Classic WoW, so let's talk about those real quick. This is a little bit more speculative though. Number 1 is the Season of Mastery 2 with the second seasonal server for Classic WoW. We already know it will not be called Season of Mastery 2, it will have a different term, but until we know what it's called, Season of Mastery 2 is the commonly referred to name. These servers will most likely feature a 1-year lifespan seasonal servers with significant changes made to the game that are relevant for that season. Season of Mastery, for example, had significant changes made to the raiding scene, focusing on that mastery element, and the second season will likely have similar changes, but in a different aspect. It is worth mentioning quickly here that personally I think these seasonal servers are a great thing, and I think they could eventually lead to the release of Classic Plus, and I think Blizzard are using these seasons to test which changes players respond well to and which ones they don't like, so they know more about how to make Classic Plus based on that feedback. Now the second thing I think will get announced at BlizzCon this year is Cataclysm Classic, which I'm expecting to be released sometime in Q3 or Q4 next year. To begin with, a lot of players said they would quit after Wrath due to Kata not being in the whole trilogy of Classic WoW, but honestly I think most of those people have quit already, and the people still playing Wrath are very likely to also play Cataclysm, due to the fact that many players that are playing Wrath right now are doing so due to the dungeons and raids scene, maybe even the PvP scene, and both dungeons, raids and PvP is incredibly well done in Cataclysm. The opening raids of Kata are among the best I have ever seen, and I have played every single expansion. The PvP scene in Cataclysm is also much better than Wrath if you ask me, especially because in Wrath people can cheat and even glitch themselves under the map in rated arenas. If you have played arenas in Wrath lately, you probably know what a shit show it is later up the ladders. Now these bugs and cheats are something Blizzard could fix, but they won't, but many of them got fixed with the Cataclysm patch, which Blizzard will most likely slap onto Wrath, making them pretty much fix themselves. Now personally, the only negative thing about Cataclysm in my book is the looking for raid system, and judging by the fact that we don't even have the looking for group yet in Wrath, I am not really worried about the raid finder system for Kata, because it will not be there at all, and if it is, it will be in the very last patch. So that is a long recap, but let's recap the recap. First of all, Classic era is popping off, and we have a new ranking system coming. Official hardcore servers are coming. Wrath of the Lich King Classic still has 2 phases left, one of which brings the best raid of the expansion, namely Icecrown Citadel. BlizzCon this year with hopefully 2 announcements, Season of Mastery 2 and Cataclysm Classic. Season of Mastery 2 is pretty much confirmed to be talked about later this year, which if you ask me fits right into the BlizzCon schedule. Actually, one more thing real quick. Fresh Classic WoW. This is something Blizzard have not talked about too much, but I think there will be a Fresh Classic WoW relaunch coming very soon, or at least later down the line. But it is probably not coming for quite some time, especially compared to what people are thinking. Now I think they will launch Cataclysm, and when they see people start quitting Cataclysm, they will start planning on a Fresh Classic WoW launch. I would expect Fresh Classic WoW launch roughly half a year after Cataclysm has launched. It might be sooner, but that's my thinking here. Alright, that's pretty much it. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it so far. Let me know in the comments down below which version of the game you are currently playing, and that's pretty much it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.